A very good afternoon, dear students. I hope you all are safe at your place. I, Professor Sonal Agrawal, welcome you all on the digital platform of Agrawal Vidya Vihar English Medium College. This is the lecture for the subject Banking Law and Practice Paper 1. What we did in the last lecture, I just want to brief out in short that in the last lecture we have discussed the topic that bankers' obligation to maintain secrecy of customers' account. This topic is also known as the banker's duty of secrecy. This topic is important from the examination point of view. This topic may ask you as a 7 marks question or the short note. In this, we have discussed the meaning that what do you mean by banker's duty of secrecy, and this all things we have discussed in the last lecture. Today, what we are going to do that we are going to start with the exception of the duty of the secrecy. That if you are having an account with the bank, so it is the duty of the banker that not to disclose any information of your account or the transaction of your account to the third party, but there are some situations that in that situation it is compulsory to disclose the information. Clear? It may be according to the law, it may be with the interest of public, it may be because of the interest of bank. Clear? So there are certain situations. So we are going to discuss about that. That topic is known as the exception of the duty of secrecy. So first one is about that disclosure is under compulsion of law. Under sometimes it is according to the law, the bankers has to disclose the information of the account of the customers. Suppose someone by the civil court will be there or the criminal court will be there, a case is registered against the account or against the customers of the bank. In that situation, sometimes in the court appeal, they require the information of the customer's account. Clear? So in that situation, it is compulsory that if any information asked to the banker, then the banker has to disclose the information rightly. Here, the banker should not hide any information. There are so many examples of the acts are given. You can see on the screen that under the Income Tax Act 1961, suppose the person is not paying the income tax regularly and against that person an inquiry is made by the income tax department, then it is compulsory that the account information of that person must be disclosed by the banker rightfully. Clear? Sometimes according to the Companies Act, if the person is a partner of any company, a state duty is the inquiry made about the estate of the person according to the RBA Act, Gift Act, Wealth Act and BRA Act. Yeah? These all are the examples of the act that under these types of act or if any you can say if any case is registered against the banker's customer, in that situation it is compulsory under the law, according to the law, that the banker has to disclose the information. That situation is known as that disclosure is known as the disclosure under compulsion of law. I hope it is clear. The second exception is about the where there is a duty to the public to disclose. Here, sometimes it is there. It may happen that because of the interest of the public, that it is the you can say it is the duty of the banker to disclose. You are very familiar about the Nirav Modi case, here Vijay Mallya case and Kingfisher case. In all the cases, it is the duty of a banker to disclose the information about the account of the customer. Why? Because these are certain situations that the information of this situation must be given to the public. Clear? The banker cannot hide these types of situation from the public. They also, because of the interest of the public, it is compulsory to disclose these types of information. So in that situation, the disclosure is the duty of the bank to protect the interest of the general public. Then third situation is where the interest of the bank requires the disclosure. Sometimes to protect the interest of the banker, it is compulsory that the banker has to disclose the information. For an example, that you can take the example that suppose the banker wants to recover the amount of the loan from the guarantor. In that situation, what the banker has to do, the banker has to give the information about the loan taken by the customer to the guarantor. Then only the banker is able to recover the amount from the guarantor. If the banker is not disclosing the information about the loan to the guarantor, then how the banker can recover the amount? So just to protect the interest of the bank here, what is the interest in this example? The interest is to recover the loan amount. Clear? Where the person is not able to pay the amount. This topic we have discussed in the unit number 4, that is the chapter 4 guarantee, where the bank, where the debtor of the bank is not able to pay the amount, then the banker is having the right to recover the amount from the guarantor. But to recover the amount from the guarantor, the bank has to disclose the information about the loan account. If the banker is not disclosing the information of the loan account, then according to the technical ground, the banker is having no right to recover the amount from the guarantor. The guarantor may escape from the liability. So because of this types of situation, the banker has to disclose the information to protect the interest of the bank. The next is about the disclosure by express or the implied consent of the customer. Sometimes the permission consent is given by the customer. It may be expressed or it may be implied to disclose the information. In that situation, if the customer is ready to disclose the information, then of course the banker has to disclose the information. But it is advisable that the banker should be get the writing consent from the customer. Clear? So, in case of any situation arise of the sorry, in case of any situation arise, then the banker can use that statement as a proof. The next is about the inquiry of the other banks. Sorry. Sometimes it is happened that then the inquiry made by other banks about the past loan taken by the customers. Here, that is very confidential between the two banks. If any information is asked by the second bank about the past record of the customer, so it is the duty of the banker to disclose the information. So these all are the certain situations where the disclosure is compulsory. So these all are the exception of the banker's rule of the banker's right of the maintain the secrecy of customers' account. I hope it is clear. It is very simple to understood. Now the next topic that we are going to start is about the garnishee order. Here we have discussed so many times this word is the garnishee order. Now this is the time to discuss this topic in detail. So the question arises that what do you mean by garnishee order? Just read the paragraph given on the screen once. Done? Okay. A court order instructing a garnishee, here garnishee means the banker, that the fund held on behalf of a debtor, the debtor is called the judgment debtor, should not be released until directed by the court. Just read this words, clear? What is meant by this line? That suppose a person has given a loan, a fund to someone else, clear? The second person who is the debtor is not ready to pay the amount to the creditor. In that situation, the creditor is having the right to claim on the court in the court, clear? The person is having the right, the creditor is having the right to claim against the debtor in the court. In that situation, whatever order given by the court to the banker of the customer, here who is the customer, the debtor of the creditor, here. So whatever the instruction given by the court to the banker, that order is known as the garnishee order. Now just read the lines once. A court order instructing a garnishee. Whose order is this? This is the order of a court. Instructing a garnishee means instructing a bank that fund held on behalf of the debtor, means whatever fund held by the bank on the account of the debtor should not be released, should not be given to the customer until directed by the court. Means this is the order of the court just to stop the transaction of the account of the customer. Here, if the customer wants to withdraw the money or if the customer wants to present the check, then just do not accept this type of transaction. Why? Because whatever fund will be there in the account of the customer, that fund cannot be used by the customer till the court is not giving the second order. Clear? So this is just the order to stop the transition of the customer's account. That order is given by the court to the banker to stop the transaction from the account whose name is written on the garnishee order. Clear? So this type of order is known as the garnishee order. The order may also instruct the bank to pay a given sum to judgment creditor, the person whom a debt is owed by the judgment debtor. Clear? So the person who is the creditor of that customer, The second order may be released by the court that not just to stop the transaction from the account, but just pay the amount to the creditor. Clear? So this type of order is also given by the court. Suppose a person has taken 1 lakh rupees to some from for I'm giving the name. Mr. A has taken a loan of 1 lakh rupees from Mr. B. So Mr. A is debtor, Mr. B is the creditor. Here now Mr. A is having a saving account with the bank where the balance is 5 lakh rupees. Now the Mr. A don't want to pay the 1 lakh rupees to Mr. B, even he is having 5 lakh rupees in the savings account. So the customer is not the insolvent person. He is having 5 lakh rupees in the bank account, even though he don't want to pay the amount to Mr. B. In that situation, the Mr. B, who is the creditor, is having the right to claim in the court, and the court will issue an order to stop the transaction or to stop the withdrawal from the saving account of Mr. A. Clear? So that order is known as the garnishee order. Sometimes the second order is given by the court that just pay rupees 1 lakh, which is the date amount here, rupees 1 lakh to Mr. B, who is the creditor. So this type of order given by the court is known as the garnishee order. Again, I am repeating, a order given by the court to the bank, instructing to the bank just to stop the transactions of the account of the customer. That order is known as the garnishee order. I hope it is clear. In very simple word, a court order making a garnishee or making a bank pay money not to the debtor but to the third party. Again, the same thing is written here. Whatever written here, the same thing is written here in a very simple word that it is a order of a court making a garnishee. Garnishee means who? Garnishee means the banker or the bank. Here, making a garnishee to pay the money. Here's the same example I am taking, that to pay the money from the savings account, not to the debtor. Debtor here, who is the debtor? Mr. A is the debtor, not to Mr. A but to the third party. Who is the third party here? Mr. B, who is the creditor here. So just pay the amount not to Mr. A but to Mr. B. Why? Because Mr. B is the creditor, he is having the right to recover the amount, but Mr. A, who has taken a loan or who has taken a debt from Mr. B, is willingly not paying the amount. Here, so in that situation, the order given by the court is known as the garnishee order. Who is giving the order? The court is giving the order. To whom? To the bank. Which types of order? To pay the amount not to the debtor but to the third party, or it may be to stop the transaction from customer's account. Here, for you, whatever, just I have bring a sample form of the garnishee order, but I will show you it later on. Here, if the debtor fails to pay the debt owed by him to the creditor, the latter may apply. The latter means the creditor will apply to the court for the issue of a garnishee order on the banker of his debtor. Here, who is going to, if when the situation arises when the debtor fails to pay the debt amount. Here, if the debtor pays the debt amount, in that case, no situation is there for the garnishee order. If the debtor is willingly not paying the amount of the debt owed by him to the creditor, then the letter means here the creditor. Then the creditor is having the right to claim in the court. Which types of claiming is here? The person is claiming to issue a garnishee order to the banker of the debtor. The account of the customer with the banker thus becomes suspended. It is suspended for a shorter time period till the second or final judgment is not given by the court, and the banker is under an obligation that not to make any payment thereof. As soon as the banker is receiving the garnishee order of the court, in that situation the banker is under the obligation that not to give any amount from the account of the customer. Suppose the same example I am taking, that the customer is having the balance of 5 lakh rupees in the savings account. As soon as the banker receives the garnishee order, the banker should not give out of that 5 lakh rupees to the customer. Clear? That 5 lakh rupees should be kept with the bank till the final order is not received from the court. The creditor at whose request the order is issued, the judgment creditor. Clear? The creditor who apply in the court. Clear? For the issuance of this type of order, that creditor is known as the judgment creditor. The debtor whose money is frozen in the account is called the judgment debtor, and the banker who receives or who is the debtor of the judgment debtor is called the garnishee. Clear? So the three parties are there. Just read this paragraph once again. It is very simple to understand, but this is the new topic for you. That's why you may confuse. Otherwise, this is a very simple topic to understand. And according to the examination point of view, it is IMP also. So just read the sentence written on the screen. Done? Okay. So on the paragraph of the screen, you can finalize that there are three parties. Which are they? First party is the judgment creditor. Who is the judgment creditor? The creditor whose request to place the order. Clear? Or you can say the creditor whose money is unpaid. So the person is known as the judgment creditor. The debtor is known as the judgment debtor, and the banker is known as the garnishee. Now the question arises that how this word coined. Here the garnishee word, so how this garnishee word coined. So the garnish word is derived from the old French word, that meaning of the garnir, and which means to warm or to prepare. Clear? So that's why the garnishee word is used here. Again I am repeating, garnish word is derived from the French word, that is the garnir, and the meaning of that garnir is just to warn or to prepare. Clear? It is to serve and hire with notice that for an example, to warn the certain date that must be paid before the person is entitled to receive the property as an hire. Here, as we all know that whatever property is held by a person, that property will be given to the legal heirs of that person. But before paying to the legal heirs that amount of the property, some other third party is entitled to receive some of the amount. And that amount is the debt amount here. So this type of notice or this type of warning is given to someone. Here someone means the bank. Here this type of warning is given to someone. That's why it is known as the garnishee order. So this is just the history, you can say additional part just for the information of you. This is not the part of your syllabus. This history is not given in your book, but as we are discussing the garnishee order, so it is compulsory that you should be know that how this word coined. Then types of the garnishee order is there, but I hope you you are very clear with the parties of the garnishee order, that three parties are there. First one is the judgment creditor, the second is the judgment debtor, and the third one is the garnishee. This is either from the you can say quiz point of view or the MCQ point of view of your examination, or sometimes it is asked in the 2 marks also. So just try to make clear that how many parties are there in the garnishee order. Three parties are there. Clear? So court is not the party. Make it very clear. Clear? Garnishee order is the order which is given by the court, but three parties here, not the court is not included in these three parties. Which are the three parties? Judgment creditor, judgment debtor, and the garnishee. Who is the judgment creditor? The creditor whose money is unpaid is known as the judgment creditor. Who is judgment debtor? The person who is having a bank account is the judgment debtor. And who is the garnishee? The banker of that person is the garnishee. So I hope it is very clear to you. Now the second is about the types of the garnishee order. Here, so two types of the garnishee orders are there. First one is the order nishi, and the second one is the order absolute. Here, so as soon as the what do you mean by order nishi and what do you mean by order? It is actually not the type. The first order issued by the court is known as the order nishi, and the final order that is issued by the court, that is known as the order absolute. Clear? So you can say the two order is given by the court. As soon as the case is filed in the court, the initial order that given by the court to the banker, that initial order is known as the order nishi. Clear? So the here you can say the garnishee order is having the two stages. So the first is order nishi, and the second one is the order absolute. Here in every case, the banker is going to issue these two types of orders. The first one is about on receipt of the order nishi, the bank should be bound to stop the operation of the account. Here, as soon as the banker is going to receive this order nishi, that what the banker has to do, just the banker has to stop the transaction or stop the operation of the account of the customer, not doing anything else. They are not to pay the amount, nothing. Just the banker has to stop the transaction. And we must immediately inform to the banker. We means here the banker. Banker must immediately inform to the customer about the receipt of the order. As soon as the banker is going to receive this type of order, what is the duty of a banker? Two duties are there. First thing, stop the transaction of the account of the customer, and second thing, inform the customer immediately that this type of order is received by a banker from the court. So as soon as the banker receives the order, Nishi, this is the duty of the banker that he has to be performed. I hope it is very clear. First thing is order Rishi. What the banker has to do, just stop the transactions of the person whose name is written on the order. The second one is about the order absolute. Clear? Now suppose a person has filed the claim. Mr. B filed the claim against the Mr. A. Now the Mr. A is also having some of the authority to present his side. Of course, yes, he is also must be given the chance to present his side. Clear? Here, whatever he wants to explain. Clear? It is not only that just explanation is required, and after giving the notice, the proper time must be given to the person to pay the amount. So what do you mean by order absolute? That as soon as the person receives the garnishee order, the time period is given to the party or to the creditor or to the debtor. Here debtor is the Mr. A. The time period is given to the Mr. A. That suppose the 10 days are here for you. If you want to present your side, then you have to present your you can say your statement or your side that you want to present. The court cannot take the final decision on the opinion of Mr. B only. Clear? For Mr. B is the creditor, the banker has to listen on the side of the debtor also. The court has to listen the side of the creditor debtor also. So in that situation, what the court is doing, court is giving some time period, suppose 7 days or 10 days to the debtor, that if you want to give any statement, then just file your statement in the 7 days, and according to your statement also, after considering your statement also, court is going to decide the final opinion. But the time period is given to give the or to file the statement of that person, if any. Yeah, so if the person wants to say something on this situation, if the Mr. A wants to say something on this situation, so the time period is given. After filing the side of the Mr. A, the final order will be issued by the court, and that final order is known as the order absolute. After receiving the explanation of bank, court may issue the order absolute. Clear? Explanation of not bank only, here bank is written, but explanation of the customer who is having the account. The explanation of the bank plus the explanation of the customer. What the bank is going to explain, the bank is going to explain about the situation of the account of the customer, that what is the present balance, what are the past transactions. These types of explanation will be given by the bank, and what are the explanation given by the customer, that whether he has paid the amount or not, what are the reason to not to pay the debt amount to the creditor. So the customer is going to explain these all things. Clear? So the time period is given to the bank and the customer to explain their point of view, and after that the court will issue the order absolute. On receipt of the order absolute, the bank has to pay the amount to the court if it is the order of the court. Clear? So ultimately the court is going to take these types of decisions. Now for you, as I said already, that I have a garnishee order form sample for you, that which types of order is there. So I just want to show you that the garnishee form, so it is a practical knowledge again for you. That garnishee order form is not the part of your syllabus. This is just the practical knowledge for you. That you can see here, a garnishee order form is there. Here, this is the form 71 garnishee order. You can see that the name of the three parties are written here: the judgment creditor, judgment debtor, and the garnishee means the bank's name. Here, the judgment creditor means the person who has filed the case. The judgment debtor means the person whose account is going to be frozen, and the garnishee means the banker, a bank or bank branch. Here, so this is a small form. The court is given the statement that for what amount the the court wants to issue the garnishee order, that amount is also written here. The sign of the registrar. Clear? So this is the sample of the garnishee order form which is issued by the court. This type of form which is given by the court to the banker is, this form is known as the garnishee order. I hope it is very clear to you. Just for your practical knowledge, if you want, I will send you on Google Classroom also the garnishee order form. But again, I am repeating, this is not the part of your syllabus. This form is just for your general knowledge, or you can say the practical knowledge about this topic. Clear? this garnish order you are going to study as a topic in your syllabus, so it is compulsory that you must be aware about this practical knowledge also. So because of this practical knowledge, I have shown you this garnish order form. This is not related to your syllabus. This form is just for your knowledge. So I hope it is very clear. Now we have done till now. The next lecture we are going to continue with the next slide. What we did in today's lecture, we have started with the last topic, that is the banker's duty to maintain the secrecy of customers' account. In this we have discussed the meaning already in the last lecture. Today we have discussed some of the exceptions that under this type of situation it is the duty of the banker to disclose the information about the account of the customer. So this exception situation we have discussed today. Here we have discussed about these 5 situations. The first situation is where it is compulsory according to the law. Second is where it is for the interest of the public. For the public interest, the banker has to disclose. Then the next situation is for the interest of the banker. To protect the interest of the banker has to disclose the information of the customer's account. And the next is sometimes it is a permissible by the customer. Here the consent is given by the customer that the banker can disclose the information. It may be express consent or it may be implied, but it is advisable the consent must be always and always express one, means it is always and always on a written form. And the last is when it is an inquiry made by the other banks. Why? Because this is a situation that whenever one wants to take a loan from the bank is going to inquiry about your past loans, and the past loan information is in the hand of the banker only, where you have taken the past loan. So in this situation, if any inquiry made by the other bank, so it is the duty of the banker that the banker has to disclose the information. But that information is a very confidential one between the two banks. Even you as a customer not aware about this the inquiry made by the bank. So it is very confidential one between the two banks. Then we have started with a topic that is the garnishee order. In that topic, we have discussed the meaning of the garnishee order in a very simple word. I have written the meaning here for you, that a court order making a garnishee means a bank. A court order making a bank not to pay the amount of the account of the customer to the person or to the debtor, but just pay the amount to the third party. Third party means here the judgment creditor. Debtor means the judgment debtor, and the garnishee means the bank. Clear? I hope it is very clear. When this type of situation arise, when the debtor fails to pay the amount of debt to the creditor, and the creditor has applied in the court for the issuance of the garnishee order. Here, in that situation, the banker has to suspend the account of the customer and not to pay any amount from the account of the customer. And ultimately, the information is given on the screen about the 3 parties: judgment creditor, judgment debtor, and the garnishee. Who is the judgment creditor? The creditor who has filed a case in the court is known as the judgment creditor. Judgment debtor means whose account is going to be frozen. That debtor is known as the judgment debtor. And who is the garnisher? The debtor of the judgment debtor. As we discussed in chapter number 1, debtor-creditor relationship between the banker and customer. Whenever the customer deposits the money in the account, in that situation, the customer becomes the creditor and the banker becomes the debtor. Because of that relationship between the banker and customer, the word is used here, debtor of the judgment debtor. The judgment debtor means the customer and the debtor means the banker. Okay, I hope it is clear to you why the debtor word is used here for banker. So this is used for that depository relationship between the banker and customer, which we have discussed in chapter number 1. Here, debtor-creditor relationship between the banker and customer. So here the garnishee means the banker. Okay, all the topics are interrelated, students. If you have missed the past topic, so it may be difficult for you to understand this topic. What I am planning to do that I am planning that a live lecture for you for the doubt solving. Clear? Just start reading if you are having any doubts. So I will be there in a live lecture to solve your doubts. But it is the basic requirement that you must be having a doubt, and when the doubts will arise, when only you start the reading. Clear? If you didn't start the reading till now, then you are not having any doubts. Clear? So just try to start the reading, as I have given you the notes also. Start reading. So if you are having any doubts, so I can make you the clearance about the topic, that you will be understood the topic in a better way. So just try to that now you start reading because after some times I'm planning a live lecture for you. Then we have discussed that how this garnishi word coined. The garnishi word coined from the French word that is for garnish, and the meaning of the garnish is just to warn or to prepare. Here the warning is given to the banker and the preparation is given to the banker that not to pay the amount to the customer but pay the amount to the creditor. And after that we have discussed the types of the garnish order. So here it is not actually the types, it is the stages. But according to your syllabus, the heading is given the types. So these two are the stages of the Garnishi order. The first order issued by the court is known as the order Nishi, and the second order which is issued by the court is known as the order Absolute. As soon as the banker receives the order Nishi, what the banker has to do, the banker has to stop the transaction from the account of the customer, and the banker has to inform the customer immediately. And order Absolute is the final order of the court that what the action should be taken by the banker, that action is written on the order Absolute, and according to the instruction of the court, the banker has to take the steps. This is the done for today. Now from this slide we are going to discuss in next lecture. Till then, stay home, stay safe and start learning. Have a good day. Thank you.